Today I'm building a realistic caravan and campsite based on a realistic map, and we're going to be turning this area here into this area here. The build is based on Hurley Riverside Park, both camp and trailer park. We're going to be using this as a guide. We're going to be pretty much copying it and adding some other little extra details in just for fun. So stay tuned to the end to see how it looks. So subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button. We're going to try and get to 100 likes and check out the build at the end. I hope you like it. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we need to do is terraform this land. We're planning not to build over this railway here. That's going to be our bottom line. So if we go in and check out the map. So this is the map we're going to be working with. We're going to be building all the way from over here, this little industry here, up to probably somewhere here, the end of the caravan slash campsite that we've got. At the bottom of these fields here, so kind of where this road is, we're going to be imagining that's our bottom line. We've got our railway, so we're going to be building everything north of that. So the fields here, the little houses, the industrial area, and this camp and caravan site, which is going to be our main feature of today's build. We've got River Thames here, although it's not a sea. We're going to imagine that's going to be our line we're going to use as a guide. We're going to pretend the River Thames is the sea on our map. So we're might build a little island, a few little features. We're going to have the trees. We're going to put all these little details into our build. So let's go in, terraform this smooth curve that we've got going on up here. And that should give us a guide, a little template to work off. So that little industrial area that we had, that's going to sit somewhere here. And then from here, it's going to curve around maybe from about here. From about there, I reckon. And we're going to curve that out and around and up the top here. So we start to curve it. Should come up around here. Oh, we've got some terraforming. It's going to make, or the way we've got the little drop off there, it's going to make it a little bit more challenging. There we go. Hopefully I've got that roughly in the right shape there. We are going to go in and remove all our vegetation now. Right, so that's the main part done. So we will be putting in our two little islands here as well. We'll make this tool a little bit smaller. And then we're going to go in and just put those in here. Right, we've got those two in, and we're just going to put some vegetation on top of those now. So we'll go in, we'll grab our oak trees. We'll put in one at a time. We won't be selecting the small ones, we'll select the larger ones straight away, and we'll just scatter these around the whole island. Oh, so we've got that vegetation put in there. We put some different colour trees in just to add a little bit of colour there. Nothing special. Now we can go in and get our road network drawn out here and how we envision this whole thing's going to look. So the first thing we'll do is we'll get this road in here, and then we're going to bring a road out along. And you see it's maybe what, halfway down, and then we're going to bring it roughly across there and curve it up to the far end. If we take a look, it's just a straight road across there. So we will have this coming off this junction here like that. We'll keep it simple, nice straight road here. And then going up along here, this is going to be our where we have our little industrial area. We're just going to roughly sketch this out for now. Nothing too fancy. I will straighten that road up because it will annoy me. I couldn't even look at it there. And then from here, we're going to bring this road up, probably right up to the edge. It's pretty close. Okay, so now we've got that main road in there with our industrial buildings, farms here. We're then going to grab our gravel road and bring this all the way around, starting to curve it around the edge of our land that we've got here. And then from there, we're going to bring this across. Let's say to about there to start with. Then I'm hoping everything above that is going to be our campsite. We might have to expand this out a little bit, but we can play around with that as we go. So once we've got that gravel road in there, you can see how we've got some normal tarmac roads now that run all the way down with a little housing area here that connect up. So we're going to put that in next. So this one's going to come roughly out here. It follows down a little bit and then connects up to about there. We're trying to get the scaling roughly right. It might not be perfect, but we're going to play around with it as it goes. I know the buildings aren't quite going to match what they match in on a real life map, but that's what we've got to play around with, and that's going to be the fun part of today's build. So now we've got that. This road here now, I believe, should go all the way along. Pretty much makes a main road. We're just going to swerve this all the way down, roughly like that. Nothing too straight. It's a country road, so they're not perfect going along here. And then we're gonna come onto that bit in a minute. But that's going to be the start of our caravan park over here. So south of that road we've put in, we've only got this road that comes down here and nothing else much really. So we're going to make a start on getting all these buildings in here and then come back to our caravan site a little bit later on. So now we've got that roughly in the right place. We're going to get in our buildings here along this road, and then we're going to start to expand out our little housing area that we have here. Taking a look at this map, you can see actually we've only got a narrow road here, and I might make that road a little bit smaller. I might turn it into an alleyway. I think that's much more fitting. We're going to go in, we're going to put the little car park at the top. We're going to use one of our mods to put in some of these buildings here, which are almost like gardens. I'm going to think of them like little farm buildings to start with. And then we'll put some warehouse buildings in down here to set up these and put some detailed areas in here too. So this is where we're going to use some of our cool mods that we've got available to us, and we've got this residential mixed farming, and I believe these, when we put it into build, I think we can build them at a 4x3 build here. I believe these will. Let's put one more in as well. Great, they're going to come in straight away. You'll see when they're built, I believe they produce products as well as house residents. So this one you see has got 3 residents, quite wealthy, and it's mixed farming. We'll see when that comes in what products they actually produce. See, this one's got livestock and vegetables, so that's pretty cool. We can get both of those and have residents, so it's a win-win. So we've got in here roughly the buildings we want for this section of the build, and we've roughly tried to get some of the industrial buildings down here, some little houses. We've got those little farms that have come in now as well. We've got the car park at the top here. We've used the modest one for that. We've got most of the buildings in here that we want to as well. We've got in some of our industrial buildings at the bottom here, our warehouses. We've got some little houses, and we've even got our little farms now that have developed, our residential farms, and I quite like the look of those. If we click on one, you'll see modest household requires vegetables and livestock. They produce food, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What about this one here? So requires grain and they produce convenient food. So perfect. They actually produce something for the city, which is great. So I quite like those. Quite like the look of them. We are going to go in now and put some detailing in down here in terms of our surfaces. We're going to need some concrete surfaces, some dirty surfaces. We're going to put in some little containers down here with some dirt piles, lots of things like that. We're going to turn this area into dirt here. Maybe have a little entrance of a hedgerow, some bushes, and then bring up a nice green field up here, which hopefully is going to have or be hidden by a tree line or something of that nature, because we do want to make sure that this whole area here is going to be a green area. I'm happy with that final result there. I think that looks quite good. We used a forestry surface here for our mud. I think that fits quite well. Put a hedgerow around the outside with some trees to separate, and some bushes just spread randomly around. We're going to try and get some trees along this coastal area here. And then we put lots of details in. We've used the rubble, the containers, the wood stockpiles, the hay, more rubble, more containers here, some cardboard boxes, just to make this area feel like a little industrial area at the start of our farmland here almost. We're thinking of putting some surfaces in down here a little bit later on. We'll come to that a bit later though. We will be expanding out here, putting our houses in, and then we can start to play around with our farmyard surfaces down here, or agricultural land, just to give it that look that we've got in our map. Before we do anything else, I'm going to go in and change the colour of some of these buildings here. I don't like the reds and the greens, and with this new mod that I've got here, I believe, fingers crossed, I can go in and change that all now. So if I go in here, so you can make it a bit lighter, you can make it a bit darker. We're going to go in and make it quite dark. It doesn't really matter what colour we stick it on. We're going for dark colour here, and then we'll change that one to the same colour. We'll just copy that colour across now. It's quite like that shiny black colour there. It's quite nice. We're going to go in, change the colour of this one as well. We're going to see if we can maybe just change the tint of this one a little bit. We're going to go maybe towards a blue colour. And let's see if we can make it a little bit darker. Oh, so there we go. We're going to go for a dark blue on that one. I think that one looks nice. So let's expand out here. So let's take a look at our map first and see what we're dealing with. So for these houses here, we do have maybe 6 houses across there, and they're a little bit bigger, and they're also a little bit deeper as well, and they run up in line with our agricultural land here. And then as we come across here, these houses are much smaller, so we can definitely fit some larger houses in there now. Using the Find It mod, I've selected these 2 EU low density buildings. I think they're quite fitting. You can see the buildings are a little bit bigger. We're going to go along here. We're going to snap a few of these in. We are going to have to take snapping off and align these manually, so we get them exactly how we want them. Okay, I think that's okay. I'm trying to get them lined up there. Then we're going to get the slightly smaller ones, and then start snapping these along here as well. There we go, nice. Quite like those. They look quite nice in there, nice and snug. Yeah, so I've deleted this. We need to get it much closer to this road. We had left too much of a gap, so we're going to bring it out here, and we're going to start to curve it round a little bit earlier. Right, there we go. I think that's much better. It's a bit snaky, but nevertheless, we're going to get in the buildings we want now. And we're going to get in along here and here, some much smaller buildings. Yeah, so for this area, what I think would be quite fitting is to use some of our NA, and I've selected these 2x3 grids. I think these are going to be the best and probably most fitting for this area. So we're just going to go out, snap these all the way along here. We might have to take snapping off for some of them just to get the alignment right and get them all snapped in pretty close together. So we're going to draw our house and community here now. We're going to try and, let's take off curved road tool. We're going to try and draw a little square across here. So we've got all our houses in there, and I think that looks good. We've used a few different ones at the end, and we've tried to crown them together to give it the same feel as the map. What I would like to do though is bring this shoreline here a little bit closer to the road. I'm going to grab our terraforming tool here and then just try and get this. Just going ever so easy here, close to this road as possible. I would like a little gap. And if we soften this terrain here, hopefully this will give us a nice little finish along here. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it looks pretty decent. We might need to bring out, this is a bit too close, that's actually underneath, so we need to bring that out a little bit. That should do, and if we just soften it, and then we'll do the same here as well. There we go, that looks pretty decent. So now that's done, we're going to get in some of this agricultural land here, some of our vegetation, and this little forest that we've got at the bottom as well. I'm really happy with how that's starting to look now. We've got all that vegetation in. It's not just one massive empty space. We've got all the agricultural land in. We've got the trees, the bush lines between. We've got the little forest area at the bottom. Starting to really come together. If we take a look at the map now to see how that compares. If we zoom out a little bit here, you'll see that looks pretty good. I think we've done a good job there of getting that to look similar-ish. Now it's time to go in and do the fun bit and getting in our caravan slash campsite here. The first thing we need to do is get in just a rough road network. I'm going to try and break it down into 3 main areas. We've got this first main area here with some little caravans there and basically a campsite here. We've got a little lake in the middle, and then we've got loads more homes down on the bottom this far end. So we're going to get in our little squirrely road that comes all the way down alongside first, and then we're going to draw up and connect it across. And you can see here that the main road only connects up to this first section, and then it comes down, and then we've got a little road here which kind of disperses, and then this has got some little intricate paths that we can get into more detail, but the path doesn't really run all the way along the back here. Got that first section in there. We're now going to jump in and get our intricate little road network here that we need to get into. What I'm thinking for these houses down here is that we just set them back as far back from that road as possible. I don't really want to have to put another road down the back there. We might have to put some little roads in here. There's not much I can do if I want to get this kind of layout with these houses. I'm gonna have to put that in. And then I'm going to go in and try and put this little network together here. So we've got a little circle, and then it goes out in a curve with kind of lots of little roads leading off. So we're going to try and get that in now. Oh, so I've got the roads in there. That's the rough pattern. Hopefully when we've got the houses in, it's going to look a lot less messy. It just looks like some kid's just gone and drawn it with his pen. But if we flick back to the map, it looks roughly the same. Yeah, I'm going to say that looks the same. I'm going to go in and put these little roads that come off here, but yeah, it looks the same, guys. Take my word for it. Right, so it's time to get in our little holiday homes or houses. Well, we're going to use residential houses anyway for this one, and you can see they're quite small. They're pretty tightly packed together, so we're going to get all these in. We might leave some small little gaps, like we've got a sandy zone here, and we're going to try and get them close together, packed up to the road. And we'll add in all these little intricate roads when we get a feel for how deep we're going to have the house in. And then we'll go in and play around with our little caravans and fields with tents afterwards. So I've gone in and I've picked out these NA residential low 2x4 housing, and I think these look quite good with sort of the housing going sideways. So we're going to put our first one in here, and as best we can, we're just going to line them up really and stack them along here. I might have to delete that hedgerow first though. See if I can do it without, it's going to get a bit fiddly, without removing that home. Nice, we can come on and put a hedgerow in there a little bit later on. Yeah, I like those. They look like pretty good holiday homes. We might have to go in there and actually take out some of the, or change some of the colouring. I don't want pink for everyone, guys. I'll be honest. I don't mind pink, but for everyone, and again, don't think it's realistic. So we'll go in, we'll mix up, we'll use our new colouring tool to change that up a little bit. And I've also got these 2x3 North American houses as well, which I really like. These look great and it'll be a great fit for our smaller gaps we've got here. If we go back and look at the map, you'll see it's going to be a little bit difficult to get, but you'll see a lot of the houses we've got here have like a hedgerow along the back, which is quite thick, so we can put some trees and bushes in there later. But they sit quite far back from the road. So I might actually delete those ones I've put in and see if I can sit them back a little bit further and ideally get them along the hedgerow there. That'll be ideal. And then that gives them that little bit of space at the front, that green grass to go in and park their cars. Well, that's what we're going to try and create. Right, so let's use our 2x3s and see if we can sit these a little bit further back from the road. So far that seems okay. Just have to make sure that we don't get that no road sign. I think as long as it's one tile from the road, I think we're actually good to go on this. And I'm just being careful, trying to snap them nice and close together so those hedgerows are aligned nicely, and we'll go in and we'll rinse and repeat. Slightly smaller gap here, so we're going to run that same process probably up to about here with our slightly smaller 2x2 NA residential homes that we have here. It doesn't matter if we have a little gap behind these houses, because we're going to be putting in hedgerow there. For me, it's just trying to get these nice and level. You'll see on this bit, we've got another road that comes out down the back and then joins up along there. We've got some sort of sideways buildings here, and then not sure what actually those are there, but some little different buildings there. We could get again some more warehouses that might, or some smaller ones that might fit in there. We'll decide what we're going to do there in a bit, but we're going to put this little road in and get the houses along there. So you'll see on the map here, I've left a little bit of room to start extending that road out. So we're going to go ahead and put that little road in now. So I'll grab our tarmac path here. Let's start it about here. And we're going to put it straight to start with. And then we're going to grab our curve tool, start to curve this round a little bit. I'll grab our continuous curve tool here, just because we don't want it to be too straight. Up there, and then we'll connect it up somewhere around there, just deliberately trying to not make that too straight. Yep, so we'll get all our houses around here, get this area filled in, then we can tackle the north side here. Okay, so we've got all those houses in along there, and I don't actually mind those extended paths. I don't mind them at all. I'm debating whether to take them out and just leave that as some empty grass. Let's do that now. Let's click on our services tool here. Let's see if we can unextend these. If I move this slightly here, there we go, we've got a nice green area out the front. That looks okay. I don't think that looks too bad. I'm going to go in, I'm going to rinse and repeat that on all of these homes, and hopefully that will look excellent by the end. Right, that took a lot longer than I thought because the amount of houses I had, but I think that looks much better with this green area out the front, especially when we put the hedgerow along the back. I think that will look better. So let's go in, get our houses along here now. And what I have got for these side houses that we're going to have along this road here, these nice little 3x2 LA residential ones. So we're just going to scatter a few of these along here, trying to get them nicely in this gap. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like that they're sideways, that's quite nice. So I'm going to go in now, get all the rest of our housing done. It might take a little while, and I'll check back in with you when it's finished. We've got our houses in, and that's most of the tedious part finished now. We're going to go in, we're going to get our little sort of pond lake area in here, and then we're going to go in and get the houses down here as well and start adding our little details. Right, so time to get our little lake in down here. This is going to be pretty simple. We're just going to go in, grab our shift terrain. We are going to go in and level this out now. So if I click somewhere, let's go maybe 3 levels deep there. And then we're going to just go in and drag this around. That's better. Stop going funny now. Got rid of that massive hole that was far too deep. Right, I think that is about right. We're not going to add any water to that because what I've got, and we're going to try this out here. If I go into my extra assets here, I've downloaded some water surfaces. So what I'm thinking is maybe we grab something like our blue here, and then the plan is just to go along where we've put our lake here, where the little crevices are, go in and just put in our new surface here. So let's go in, put that all around, see how it looks when it's finished. Wow, that looks pretty cool. I love how blue that looks. And the sun reflects off the surface, which is quite nice. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Look at that, guys. And the sun catches it. That's really cool. Oh, that does look wicked. I love how that looks. I'll put the description, all the mods I've got in the description below. So go and check that out. You can find out what it's called. Get it downloaded yourself. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, so we're going to go in, just hide some of these jagged edges that we've got here. We're going to get in some different trees, put some like oak trees in. Just pockets of different things here, really. So I'm liking how that looks now. Put a little bit of vegetation around the outside. Use some different coloured trees just to bring it to life and bring some natural colours in. I think that looks really, really cool. So we're going to go in now and take a look at this road here. Because what I'd like to get in here is kind of like a little reception area. Maybe use a motel building for that. And then we'll put our car park in as well. So let's just flick over to our map. So you can see here you've kind of got this area here, which I imagine is our little reception area. It's got a little playground at the back. I assume that's a playground. And then we've got some parking either side of this road. And then a little bit of housing on the opposite side as well. And we'll put all our housing along the little roads that we've put in too, because they look a bit like a kid's drawing them at the moment again, like I said earlier, but hopefully it'll come to life when we start getting the housing in and vegetation as well. I used our find it tool and I've found this cool little motel here. I don't like the colour of it. If we snap that in there, I quite like how that looks. I think that looks really cool. So we'll go in and take out these signs. This is where we can use our better bulldozer tool and remove all these little features here. I might move those signs, these sides can go. Oh, the roof ones can go, no doubt. Any other silly signs that we don't like? That's fine. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. If we click on the building itself, we'll go in here. It's got quite it's quite light green on that one. But we can change the colour here to whatever we would like. I think we go for sort of a red colour. Yeah, I quite like that. I think that looks good. I do like the look of that building. We are going to have to go in and take those little signs out as well. There we go. Keeps it simple. That's a nice looking building. And then we're going to use our extra parking tools that we've got here. And the plan is to put some either side all the way along. So I think that motel we put in was a little bit big, but makes the point. I like it as a feature. We're going to leave it in, even if it's not quite to scale. We're going to go in and get our parking here. And you can see we don't have a lot, but it just runs along this main entrance into the caravan park alongside the road that leads up to our caravan area here. So this is where our mods come in handy, and we're going to use these extra parking spaces we've got that are designed by Dome, and we're going to have to manually put these in. But by doing so, hopefully that's going to mean we can get a few more in and line them up how we'd like as well. And because it's a caravan park and these are not always the neatest thing you'll see, we are going to put these in, and it doesn't matter if they're slightly offline, not perfectly straight, doesn't matter. That's part of the aesthetic look we're going for here. Nice, we've got a lot more in than I thought we would, and we're going to do the rinse and repeat on the opposite side too. Right, that looks good. I did initially make these gravel. I thought, oh, it'd be quite nice if those were gravel roads there, but I'm actually going to turn them back to tarmac, and I'm going to try and blend the road surface in with the parking area. You'll see what I mean in a second. So let's insert our surfaces in here, and the plan is to use this pavement tool. I think it's the pavement 1 tool here. Yep, that looks pretty good. That is the closest colour I think we're going to get to this pavement here, and that should make it blend in a little bit. Now that's done, we're going to go in and fill in the rest of this area here. We've got a few little buildings we need to put in along this road at the top here, and lots of caravans and tents and things like that scattered along here. So if we take a look at this area, we've got lots of little hedgerows, we've got lots of vegetation around the outside, almost like little pockets of fields. So that's going to be what we try and create here, and put in some tents along the hedges, caravans along the outside. Yeah, and just fill this area. This looks quite empty, I think, so we're going to go and fill it in a little bit more and make it a little bit more well used. But yeah, we'll come to that when we get to it. So let's grab these buildings first. We've got a couple of little commercial buildings slash warehouses we're going to put in. So I imagine this is like a little food shop you've got here for all the people camping out. This could be like a little farm building or a little warehouse. Could be anything really. We'll get some buildings that we think are going to fit quite nicely there. So we found this little EU commercial store here. I think this will look great on the corner there. That's quite nice. Well, this one looks quite good. We've got a little industrial warehouse building here that we're going to put just on the side there. That looks pretty good. Again, we can go in and we can change the colour of the roof. Again, I think we're going to go for that red that we had on our motel building. I think that looks more fitting. You can see here quite a sandy look around the outside, so we're just going to use this golden sand medium here all around the outside. There we go. That looks pretty cool. I don't mind how that looks at all. We're going to put some little details in there, some little trees around the outside. That should look pretty good. You can see what I'm doing here is I've grabbed our wild green bush and I've sunk it 2 meters into the ground. Just around the outside here, we're going to use this as a kind of almost like a little bush around the outside. So not an official bush, but just to hide, and it just gently integrates this area together almost. So it's got no rough edges. Put a few random ones as well. That looks pretty cool. I like how that looks. And then we can put some little caravans and spots either side. I've got to find another little EU commercial building here. This one's got a little bit of parking, a bit more concrete, which I didn't mind, because I had a little bit of concrete on our map as well. What I want to do now is I'm going to go in, I'm going to fill out a lot of this area with the vegetation, just to give me an idea of how much space I've got, and then we're going to look to fill in all that space and put little pockets of campsites, caravans, tents, that sort of thing. So let's go in and do that now. So I had put a hedgerow in here, but didn't like the look of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our line tool here, and let's put these. Could we put them wall to wall? Yeah, let's do that. And let's draw them in here. So there you go. I've had to put them a little bit closer together, but I think that looks pretty good. I think that does simulate a much better looking hedgerow there. I think that looks nice. So I'm going to kind of stick with using that theme throughout the whole of the rest of our build here. So now that's done, I'm going to go in and put our other little pockets of hedgerows around here, and then we're going to look to fill those in after. So I'm taking a close look at this map here, and you can see we've got various sections to this open field area. We've got a hedgerow almost along this main road here with little pockets of, or little avenues going out into the field. So we're going to try and replicate that now, and then have little roads that come out. So paused it now. Let's go in and draw in some of these neat little pockets here. So we're just going to put in little, almost little nodes that go in like that, and we're going to have these that spread around, spread them out down here. Like we can have one that comes out into this field, and we'll try if we can to smooth those out and put some little markings in so that it looks like cars have driven out onto the road there. And then from here we can go and grab our hedgerow. We're going to actually use the bushes again for that. I think they're a better fit. And then we're going to attempt to drag this along our road here. If we start from the corner here and repeat this process all the way around. We've got all our vegetation put in there for this main area. I'm going to repeat that process for the rest of our little campsite here, and we'll see how it looks at the end. So there we go, we've got all our vegetation in there, and I think that looks great. I do like how that looks compared to the real life look. We're going to go in now and get into the nitty gritty detail and put in some of our cool little assets and touch this up and make it look like a real caravan slash camper park here. So before we put some of our caravans and camps and tents in to the campsite area with the open fields here, we are going to go in and just put some little bit of detailing on and change the color of these roofs. We're going to make the most of our color tool that we've got. You'll see here we've got some whites, some silvers, some darker colors, some dark greens, some grays. We're just going to change the color of some of these buildings just to make it look a little bit more realistic. Yeah, so we've grabbed some of these buildings here. If we click on this building, not only are we going to change the pink to just scroll across and just get a random color like that, we're also going to be changing the roof color as well. We're going to drag this across. Oh no, that's the actual balcony color. We won't touch that. What about this light gray? What can we do here? Yeah, see, we can change the roof color. We can make it more gray. We can make it more white. See, that's quite cool. We can make it sort of a different shade of gray. That's pretty cool. I think if we click here, we can paste a single color. Can we paste it here? There we go. We can just put that color across a few of the houses. So if we just go in and we'll just sprinkle some different colors, already that's starting to look much better. And we'll do the same across all the houses really. So there you go. That took a while, and I think it looks really good. We've just had a few different colors. We've played around there. We've gone in, we spread those out. That's time I'm never going to get back though, but it was worth it for the detailing. And some people might not even notice that watch this video, but for the keen eye that likes detailing, I think they will notice, and was definitely worth doing. And it's got that kind of colourful holiday vibe to it, so yeah, it's quite fitted with our little caravan camper site here. So we're going to go in now, and I already started a little bit putting some detailing in here, but we're going to use our sand that we've got from one of our extra assets tool here. So we're going to use this white sand medium and just go in and sprinkle in half here, make it look like cars have driven across that. And what I might actually do, I think that one's a little bit thicker than the one I used before, so let's just go in, delete that out, and we'll use, try not to delete the road here, and if we grab the thin one, I think that's better. That blends a little bit better with our terrain theme that we've got there. Cool. And we're going to go in, rinse and repeat that across all of these, make it look like cars have driven out across the dirt and made it a little bit muddy. Yeah, it's got quite a nice look to it. So if we take a little look at the map here, you can see in this field here, I don't quite know what that is. It's got some fencing, some other little bits, no idea. But we're going to imagine this is a little campfire site. We're going to have some tents, we're going to have lots of chairs, yeah, we're going to have lots of things around that to make it look like it's a well used campfire that people go and visit, that you want to spend the night, have a few drinks. So let's go in, check out what assets we've got for that. So we've got a few cool little assets that we can play around with here. First thing we're going to do is a center point. We'll put in this little campfire here. We'll have maybe a couple of pots either side if we zoom in a little bit more for the detailing. And then we're going to get this campfire bench, and the goal is to make a little circle out of it. Let's start this side here and then just snap it around, big circle, not being too fussy about how I put this down. I'll make a little circle where people can sit around the campfire, have their food, come for their supper in the evening. We're going to put a couple of these shelters around the outside as well, just like that. And we'll have some pockets of benches in and around, maybe have a few here, maybe some slightly different style ones on this side, and then we'll probably use a few of these just around here as well. Yeah, that's starting to really take shape. And what I would like to do then around that is grab some of our tents that we've got, and bear in mind these were homeless shelter tents, but this is the one that, let's zoom in a little bit here, this is the one that looks most like a normal tent, so we're going to be using that all around our campsite here. So we're just going to have some little pockets of these around the outside, turning them a little bit, making sure that we don't actually put them together, because that would be stupid. They don't want to sleep on top of each other. Okay, that looks pretty cool. I quite like that, how that's spread out there. And what we can do if we want to get even more detailed on these, we can click on them, go in and just change the color. So if we grab a color that we quite like, we could get a green. Yeah, that looks decent. And we'll just go in and copy that, put that across on a few of the tents, and rinse and repeat on the rest, really. There you go. What a difference that makes, having a few different colors in there. I think that looks great. I will put in some little barrels of fire as well, just to add to the whole campsite feel. So that looks great. I'm really happy with that whole look we've created there. So that looks pretty cool. We're going to now go in and put in some of our camper vans here, and the goal is to spread them along the outsides. Typically when you go to a caravan park or a campsite, you get them around the outside. They'll put their tents around their camper vans if they need it, or they have any extra guests. So we're going to go in and do that now. Like we said before on the last build, those that watched the Luton Town one, the cars just disappear when you put them in. So I don't know, we might use some of the scrapyard ones. We know those don't vanish, just to put some cars in and give it the look we want to give it. But we'll have a go and see how that looks. So we're going to be using these trailers around our park here, and the goal is to spread them out along the outside. We'll have them slightly back from the main road here, and have some little pockets of them like this. We have some along the fence rows here, and then we'll put some across this way as well. We're just going to go and we're going to randomly spread them out all across really and see what kind of look we can create. We will have to go in and change all the colours as well eventually. We've got our trailers in there and that's really starting to take shape. We'll get our tents in as well now, and again same theme here. We'll go in, gonna put a few tents near some of these caravans, just spread them out a little bit like this. Right, now I've got those in, let's go around and change the colours. There we go, a few little colour changes, and that is starting to look, if we zoom in here, starting to look way better. All I did was simply go in, just paste a colour there. We've got some white camper vans or white trailers, that's quite fitting. And how much better does that look? It looks so less bland and just the same colour for everything. So yeah, super happy that I took the time to go in and do that. So yeah, if you don't have this colour mod, go in and get it. Right, now let's add some cars in and we'll see how it looks. Put a couple of junk cars in there. They don't look great, but I think it's better than nothing. You can only really see if you zoom in really close, and if we can work out a way to get the normal cars to stay where they are, then we're definitely going to do that. We're going to go in, put some of these cars in near the camper vans, and yeah, just spread them out, make some space for them if we need to, but just put them in, and yeah, it adds to that look already. We've got all the cars in, and I hope you agree that looks actually pretty good. If you squint a bit, you can't really tell. You can't tell at all that they're junkyard cars, but it does add to the effect. I think with the trailers you would get the cars, so super important to have that. And I'm loving how this whole area looks. So don't forget to smash that like button, guys, if you're liking these detailed, realistic builds. So we've pressed play, and we're going to watch now how this whole area starts to develop and watch the cars, people flood in, and hopefully make this look like a really cool holiday camp. And what I want to do to finish off, to top this whole area off now, is to put in this little campground sign that we found earlier. We're going to put one here, and I would love to put one, let's put a couple up here as well, just the entrance, one here too, so they know they're in our campground. And we're going to have one right up here, because I'm going to imagine this is a different sign for a different campsite. There you go. Nice. Would be cool if you could put some different characters on that and just give it a name. If you could change those, have a sign that you could change and adapt, put whatever you wanted to on it for the name of your village. I think that'd be a pretty cool mod to have. How easy that would be to make, I don't know, but yeah. And if you followed this far, guys, and you watched the journey and watched this realistic build, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more of these realistic builds, because I'm really enjoying these. I'm getting stuck into our realistic builds. I'm loving doing the detailing, and if you like it as well, then might as well subscribe. It's free, and you can follow the journey here on Jacob's Village. Yep, so I'm loving watching the cars drive around here and explore these cool little alley and lanes that we've got going on as we get all the people moving into our cool little houses. And I hope you agree that all that time and effort I put just to change the tones of some of the colours of these roofs has really added to the effect and taken away that bland, boring look where all the buildings actually look the same. Where here they look a little bit different just by changing the colour. So that is really, really cool. And I'm loving the look of our little lake. You know, you'd think that's water. You would, just looking at it, you'd think that's water. I love how the sun glistens off it. So that's pretty cool. So if you don't have that surfaces, again, I'll put it in the description below. You can download that mod and go and check it out. It's pretty cool. There's some different colors and things you can play around with. So I think we'll wrap it up there. Again, thanks for watching. I'll leave you with some cool cinematics so you can check out how it looks, and see you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye.